So your answers have given me some idea about what should be my agenda, and I have taken up this agenda now. And thanks for responding to my questions. Thanks a lot. And I'll begin with introducing myself. I'll take 5 to 7 minutes about introduction of the company and myself, as people still keep joining in the first 5. Usually happens in the first 10-15 minutes. People just keep joining in, and we just give everyone a chance to join. Otherwise, once I start with the statistical part, if you miss out on anything in the beginning, then you miss out on the whole training program. So once again, thanks a lot. And this is the agenda which we will start with. We'll introduce you to the company. Then we'll start with Lean Six Sigma benefits. Then I'll introduce you to the Lean and Six Sigma methodology, the DMAC methodology, which is always used when you are doing a project. What is Lean and Six Sigma? Lean and Six Sigma is about improving processes, improving the products, improving the services. And how can I improve your products and services? By converting the improvement opportunities into projects. And what is the definition of a project? The basic definition of a project is it has got a starting point and it has got an end point. It is a one-time endeavor. So you are taking up improvement projects as you take up improvement job or improvement, when you want to improve anything in your organization. We'll see some of the applications in the industry, and if time permits, now that's up to, let's see whether time will be there. We'll talk more about some lean topics separately. So introducing yourself to the company, we have been around for quite some time, and let me start with the formal welcome to everyone.
Hi, welcome to Anexas. Anexas has been consulting and training the professionals in the organizations around the world since 2006, and we have trained more than 150,000 people and consulted for more than 500 organizations, which includes Fortune 100 organizations too. I'm Amitabh Saxena, and I have designed this program based on my 30 years of experience while working in various industries across many domains. The whole Anexas team once again joins me in welcoming you.
So I'm supported by today we have Naveen and Juhi and a whole lot of team members. So yeah, thanks a lot for joining in. We have been around for quite some time. 2006, we have been serving the industry, especially Lean and Six Sigma, project management, process excellence initiatives. Lots of training I have completed. I've done trainings programs almost in all continents around the world. And our team has trained more than 150,000 people as Lean Six Sigma professionals and project management professionals and strategic management initiatives. In 1990, I graduated as a chemical engineer. First 10 years, I worked in operations, and I used to earn very less money. But one fine day, my company told that they're choosing top 10 high-performing individuals in the company who will be given a training. Now, this training was Lean Six Sigma Black Belt training and then certification. I thought I was one of those top 10 performers, but unfortunately, the company did not think so. And I was not in the list. But the good point, what I saw was that those people who attended that training program and who completed these projects made a very positive difference to the organization. So I was waiting for the next batch, but that next batch never happened. So I thought of investing money and got trained myself. I searched those, I'm talking about long time ago in 2000, almost 23 years ago. So I found one place. Very few companies or institutes those days used to provide this training. And I, in fact, went there and traveled and invested a lot of money and completed the course. And after that, now, as I said before, you am a Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt, Data Scientist, PMP, CPHQ, and completed and guided lots of projects around the world. So that's my introduction, and mm, I have also written my whole story in a book. And if you are interested, you can read in Amazon. This book is available. You can always buy that book, and this will also inspire you. Even if you don't want to make a career in quality as a quality professional, or whichever profession you are, it will motivate you to be self-employed. And that's what I want everyone to be here. Um, so Lean and Six Sigma gives you an edge. It gives you an edge. Whatever you are doing, if you are a chartered accountant, you can be a better chartered accountant. If you're a physician, you can be a better physician. If you're a nurse, you will be a better nurse. If you're a manufacturing engineering, you will be a manufacturing engineer, better manufacturing engineer. And if you're a banker, you'll be a better banker. Okay, that if you are interested, you can always buy this book called Anexas Story. Well, now you too can achieve all these things and much more. That is why I'm telling you all these things. And today you are not going to learn only from me, but also from the experience of my students who are around the world now in very good positions. Some are CEOs, some are business owners, some are self-employed professionals, some are very famous trainers and consultants. And you can be also one of them. And because there is huge opportunity of Lean and Six Sigma professionals around the world today. These are some of the photographs just to prove that I have been conducting training programs around the world. I also take pride in telling that I was the first person to conduct anywhere in whole of Middle East, any person to conduct first ever black belt training in Gulf. And that happened in 2007. And incidentally, simultaneously in the same week, we had two trainings simultaneously, one for hospitals and one for petrochemical batch, or for a batch of engineers. Well, Europe, Australia, US, a lot of trainings, lots of accolades, lots of awards in various forums. And Ministry of Health in Saudi Arabia is also our client, appeared in many
Hi, I'm Shekhar Suman,
TV
and I wish
shows.
to
And
congratulate all the Six Sigma
the
certified
business show,
black
there was
belts
a
from Anexas. All the
5
best.
to 10
Thank you.
episodes on they had done a Lean Six Sigma, and we had a lot of fun on that program. Spoken in American Society of Development,
On 21st of May 2000.
and yeah, completed lots of projects. A lot of credentials. I'll just move on. Yeah, a lot of articles in newspapers, Gulf News, Times of India, then etc., etc. These are all some of the credentials, and I hope now you are convinced that I'm the right person to train you. Okay. Great. So can you ask? Can you answer this question? What are the common things you see here? A manufacturing company improves production by 30%. A hospital reduces discharge time of patients from 3 hours to 15 minutes. 64% reduction in recruitment time in a multinational company. Hotel improves customer experience and increases bookings to almost 2 times. A bank reduces errors and cycle times by 80%, and insurance claims reduced by 70%. What is common here? What is common here? If you can just answer this question. So Sukesh is telling it is a reduction of time. Okay. Gerald is telling nothing. Okay. No, there are a lot of things in common. Dulemi, thank you. Ziauddin Ahmad, Saud, Anhadi, Ayaz. Yeah, almost everyone. Musa, almost Almutaz. You have all given the right answer. Yes. So they are trying to improve. Yes, it's all about personal improvement. And also one more thing, Hasishta, Ziauddin, Sami. Yes, thanks for responding. And they are all Lean Six Sigma projects. So those who have just joined in, I briefly mentioned about what is Lean Six Sigma. Lean Six Sigma is about improving the products and services in our organization through process improvement by identifying the improvement opportunity and converting them into projects. And these improvement projects are going to reduce the cost, reduce the defects, reduce the waste, reduce the rework, reduce the cycle times. It will improve your quality, production efficiency, productivity, customer satisfaction, capacity, profitability. everything what the CEO wants. And which CEO would not love a person who can achieve all these things? So Lean Six Sigma is capable of achieving everything what the company wants. Okay. Now, are you interested in learning about the history of Six Sigma, how it started? Just let me know. If you are interested, I will just briefly talk about it. Otherwise, we can start going back directly to learning parts. Okay, Dulmini and Sauda, you are telling yes. Okay, fine. A lot of people are telling yes. Okay, so let us start. Let us start learning about the history. I'll play a 2-minute video, and that will give.
Green belts and black belts are those individuals who can do improvement projects in the organization by choosing improvement opportunities and converting these improvement opportunities into projects. It all started in Motorola when Bob Galvin, the CEO, took a challenge saying that I would like to improve everything by 5 times in the organization. And he was told about some statistical tools and techniques which Bill Smith and Michael Harry were using to improve the processes. Bob Galvin was so much impressed with what Bill Smith and Michael Harry were doing, he told them to develop a methodology which, if applied to the organizational processes, can improve the processes. So he was particularly impressed with what Bill Smith and Michael Harry were doing. They were choosing improvement projects. Now, what is the definition? As I told you, definition of a project is it has a starting point, it has an end point, it doesn't exist after some time. So Bill Smith and Michael Harry would translate the improvement opportunities in the organization to projects, and applying tools and techniques of statistics, they would find the root causes of the problem, and then after solving the root causes of the problem would impact the organizational bottom line. Both of them developed Six Sigma DMAC methodology. They started training the green belts and black belts. Green belts and black belts were the people who could fight all the quality related problems in the organizations. Six Sigma brought in a lot of benefits for Motorola, and it also won Malcolm Baldrige Award in 1988. Jack Welch of GE was so much impressed with this methodology that he told his employees that you would not be promoted if you are not a green belt. So everyone wanted to be a green belt, everyone started doing projects. Then GE started telling their vendors and suppliers that if you want to have business from GE, you need to implement Six Sigma. So vendors also started asking what is Six Sigma, and GE would say that we will send our master black belts and train you in this methodology. So in this manner, Lean Six Sigma spread out around the world, and today almost 80% of the Fortune 100 companies and many, many more companies around the world have implemented Six Sigma and Lean. Lean started in Toyota.
Hi. Okay, so that was about history, and welcome, Soro Faraz, welcome. Yeah, and thank you, Abdur. Yeah, everything is fine now. Okay, great. Now, what is Lean and Six Sigma? So I will give you, after maybe 15 minutes, I will give you 3-line definition of what is Lean and what is Six Sigma. And what we are talking about today's world is talking about both Lean and Six Sigma. They go hand in hand with each other. So to understand that, let me give you a brief background. Some fundamentals are required. So to understand the Lean and Six Sigma part, some fundamentals are required, and I will give you that. And then I'll define what is Lean and Six Sigma. And then second part is, we also would like to show you some tools and techniques. Today, you will learn a lot of tools and techniques, which you can even use it in your organization tomorrow, day after tomorrow, right away. And of course, you, as a yellow belt, you can't do improvement projects, although you will learn. Today, I will show you an improvement project. Today, the way we will learn is I will teach you some tools, some of the applications I will show you. But when you come to my green belt sessions, then we will do this together. We will learn these tools and apply these tools together. Plus many more tools, in the green belt, many, many more tools you will be learning. But today, we'll start with definition, basic definition. Now, before I explain this particular slide to you, let me take you to my whiteboard. And the whiteboard, let me open a new page and let me draw a model of every organization in the world. So what I'm drawing is a typical representation of all the organizations of the world. Now, all the organizations of the world are producing products or services. Isn't it? I'm sure your organization is also producing some product or service, right? If you're a manufacturing company, you are producing products. If you're a service company, you're a healthcare company, you're a hospital, you're producing services, right? You're a banker, you're producing services in a bank. Yep. You're opening the account, giving loan, in the investments. Do you agree? Yes or no? So you are producing an output. Output could be either a product or a service. Yeah. There is no third type of output, either a product or a service. Right? There is nothing else apart from that. Or sometimes, a mix of the two. Sometimes, not always, either it will be product or a service. It could be mix of both product and service. Now, how do you produce this output? Through a series of steps. So steps. Step number 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8. You follow these steps many times through different departments and deliver an output. This number 1, 2, 3, 4, you do multiple times, again and again, day in and day out. And whatever steps, if you are repeating multiple times, again and again, we call this as a process, right? We call this as a process. So process is something, a series of steps, which is repeated again and again, multiple times. And of course, we are delivering an output. I hope, are you able to fit your organization into this model? I'm sure you are. Now, you will get an inputs, isn't it? Some inputs are required. If you are a manufacturing company, some raw materials are required. Some skills of the people themselves are required, right? If you're a service industry, knowledge is required. Yeah. Some information is required, information received from the customer. That can be a good input. Information received from the various sources can be an input. Skills, knowledge, all these things are inputs. And these inputs are being processed into an output. In construction industry, you have got design, right? Inputs, requirements of the customers, then the design part, then the raw materials, concrete, steel, all these things are raw materials, the construction workers, these are all inputs and which produce an output, isn't it? The output is, of course, the building or the bridge or whatever you are constructing. Okay, so in this case, inputs are supplied by the suppliers. Okay, and outputs are going to the customers. Outputs are for the customers. I hope everyone understood, right? Up to here, you are with me, right? Now, one more thing. Let me tell you one more thing. The customers will give some feedback. Customers will give some feedback to someone in your organization, which is captured by sometimes. So let's say centralized team or a strategy team or a CEO's team. So strategy, planning, if it is manufacturing, maybe scheduling. Depending on the feedback received from the customers and also sometimes the demand. Demand means, how much product or services the customers need. We will plan for our supplies and ask the suppliers to provide those inputs at the right time so that we are able to process the raw materials and finally produce the raw material, which is the output, and finally make our customers happy. And the customers are happy, they will give. See, customers are always happy when you provide value to them. Please understand that. Customer is not interested in your output. See, sometimes we feel customer is interested in the output. Actually, customer is interested in the value from that product or the service. Say for example, right now, let's take our example right now, what's happening here. What is the value you are looking at? You are my customer. What is the value you are looking at? The value you are looking at is enhancement of knowledge, enhancement of your knowledge of Lean and Six Sigma, the tools and techniques. By the end of 2 hours, 2.5 hours, actually, you should be knowing what Lean Six Sigma is. Basic tools and techniques of Lean Six Sigma. You should be able to speak about Lean Six Sigma for at least 5 to 10 minutes confidently. That's the output, right? The knowledge. Now, to deliver this value, see, training is not the output, by the way. This training is not the output. Training is the product or the service which I'm delivering. But the real value is the enhancement of knowledge. And that is known as the value. I hope you have understood the value. Like if you're producing car, the car is not the value. Car, of course, your car is valuable. I'm not talking about that value. What is the transportation, the prestige, yeah, the comfort, that is what is the value to the customers. So we are talking about value. And when we produce value for the customers, unfortunately, we end up doing lots of activities. Activity number 1, 2, 3, 4, we may think are value adding, but sometimes they are not adding any value. Unfortunately, this is, I'm telling you, a fact. Out of the 20 steps which you perform to deliver the so-called value to the customer, sometimes 50%, 60%, sometimes 90% of them are non-value added activities. Suppose to deliver this training, I travel to your city. Traveling is not of value. Are you interested in my travel? Are you interested in my flight details? Are you interested in my taxi? That I take a taxi, then I go to the airport and wait in the lounge and have my breakfast. Are they adding any value to you? Not at all. As a customer, you are interested in enhancement of the knowledge. You are not interested in my transportation. So transportation becomes a waste. I hope you got the point, right? Now, what I've drawn here is a systems map. Systems map. And Deming used to say that you should have systems thinking. You should think as in terms of systems. Don't have a silo thinking. Silo thinking means, I'm in my department. I don't care. Like this is my department and I will perform my job. This is your department, you'll perform your job, and this is their department, they'll perform the job, and I don't care what's happening before and what's happening afterwards. I will do my job and I feel happy about it. I will complete my targets and I feel happy about it. That is silo thinking. No, you should have a systems thinking, the one which I just showed you. You should think about the system. That's what is going to make you a leader. And when you think about the system, then only you can think about improvement. Then only you can think about pleasing the customer. Then only you can think about pleasing the shareholders, the stakeholders of the organization. So when you are here, of course, you would like to value, not add value only to the organization. You would like to value to you as well, isn't it? You want more money, but others will give you more money if you add value to others. They're not going to give you money. You are of no value to others unless you provide value to them. So how to provide value to them? So first develop a systems thinking. This diagram, which I showed it to you, and I'm just sharing once again. Can you tell me, there is another name for it. Some of you might be aware of it. There's another name for it. And this is also known as value stream map. How the value is being produced or is being generated in the organization, the flow of the value. And if there is a continuous flow of the value, that means we say that, yes, organization system is healthy. The way, if there is a continuous flow of your breathing, we are healthy. If there is interruption, we are unhealthy, right? Similarly, if there is continuous flow of value throughout the system, then we say the organization is healthy. But unfortunately, there's not always continuous flow. Sometimes it happens, step number 1 is fast, step number 2 is slow. What happens? There is a buildup. There's a queue, waiting time, waiting line, inventory, work in process inventory. These are examples of wastes in the system, and they are wasting the money of the organization. Or it may happen that step number 3 commits lots of mistakes or errors. And these errors pass on to step number 4, and they pass on to the output, and they pass on to the customer, and customer becomes unhappy. Yeah. So this is how you study the system. This is how you develop the system's mindset. And then you will take up an improvement opportunity. Oh, this is a lot of waiting time here. Let me reduce it. That becomes my project. Oh, there are too many errors here. Let me reduce these errors so that the customers are happy. That becomes my project. Okay. Now, how do I choose my projects? How do I choose my projects? So now the customer, now I hope you remember, this is the customer. Who's the customer? Customer is the recipient of your output. Whatever output you're producing, either a product or a service, he's the recipient of your output. Now, please understand, customer measures your output. There are measures on the product or service. We call it as CTQ, critical to quality characteristics. Critical to quality characteristics, CTQ, critical to quality characteristics. Okay. Most common ones, and I think the 3 are always there, be it any product or service. Can you guess which are these 3? Try to guess. Which are those 3? The first one is, cycle time. The another one is quality, or how we measure. See, we are talking about the measure. You cannot improve if you cannot measure. Yeah. So measure, cycle time, errors, and the cost. These 3 are always there. Always, for any product. Think of your product, think of your service. The customer is always interested in the cycle time. Deliver me fast, produce faster, give me the things fast, give me a service fast. Errors, don't commit mistakes. And mistakes could be anything which the customer doesn't like. Errors have to be defined from customer's perspective. In fact, we can always convert this everything into an error. If you are taking more time than the customer wants, it becomes a defect. Yeah. So I can start measuring the defects. If you're taking more time than what the customer has allowed you to do, it's a defect. If you are committing mistakes which the customer does not want, it's a defect. If you are providing the costs are above a certain limit, it's a defect. So I can measure the defects. Very simple way of measuring quality, isn't it? There could be many other measures. I've just written down 3. Like, say, suppose you are producing chocolates, then weight of the chocolate could be a measure, right? If you are in a hospital, infection rate could be a measure, isn't it? So I'm just giving some more generic examples. Project completion time in a construction company is a measure. So if you think in terms of the measures, think of the 3 measures. How do I improve my system? The question again is, how do I improve? See, talking about improvement is very easy. I will improve. But nothing happens. Lean Six Sigma gives you a proper methodology. Very step-by-step methodology. And I am going to describe this methodology after 15 minutes. But 15 minutes ago, I told you, I'm going to describe Lean and Six Sigma, right? In three sentences. First, I will describe Lean in 3 sentences. But yeah, still 5 minutes to go. I'll briefly, clarify some of the basic fundamental concepts used in quality. I hope you are with me up to here. You are with me. So this is how any organization operates. You have understood value stream map. You have understood or systems map. You have understood. Later on, please remember this diagram. Later on, I will draw S for supplier, I for input, P for process, O for output, and C for customers. And we will use a tool called SIPOC at a later stage. I will show you a project. In fact, I will do a project with you. I'll show you, how we do a project, an improvement project. We'll choose, we'll imagine an organization wants to improve something. And because many of you are from manufacturing, then you have got banking and IT and logistics and healthcare. Everyone is there today in the training program. So I'll choose a process, something which is common to all the organizations. And sometimes it is recruitment time is something which is very common. Everyone wants to reduce the recruitment time. So I will show you. We'll do a project together. Yeah. But that I will start after 15 minutes. But right now it is time to define lean, what is lean, and then what is Six Sigma. So in order to understand what is lean, let me tell you one more term, a Japanese term, right? Because lean started in Toyota, as I told you earlier, and a lot of Japanese concepts you learn there. And Six Sigma is about reducing the variation. So we'll talk separately about both lean and Six Sigma, and then we'll combine them together. And that's how all the organizations do. They use DMAG, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control methodology to improve their products and services. Yeah. So I hope some of you are joined a little late. Don't worry. These recordings are available. You can always watch these recording at a later stage. So don't worry. You have to just stay till the end to receive the recordings. You will be noting down your attendance, and then after that, we'll send you the link, whole link to you. And don't worry about it. Well, how do I make my customers happy? See, customers, what is a problem in any organization? What is a problem in any organization? Problem is when you deliver any of the measures, cycle time, error, cost, or whichever measure, which is not as per the expectation of the customer, then the customer is dissatisfied. So as a green belt and a black belt, now you are a yellow belt, but I'm just talking about in the higher levels, green belt and black belt, they take up improvement projects to improve the processes in the organizations so that you deliver output, which is either a product or a service, as per the customer's specifications. So customers will give some specifications for every measure, like time. Waiting time should be less than 30 minutes. There's the specifications of the customers. We call it specification. Yeah. Errors should be less than 1%. This is the specifications of the customers. Cost, it should be less than $1.6 per transaction. That should the customers. My weight of the chocolate should be equal to 100 grams plus minus 3 grams. These are known as specifications. Please remember specifications. Remember the word specification. Don't confuse. I will ask you later on. Today, you are going to learn a lot of concepts in very short time. And because I'm capable of delivering a lot of concepts in short time, not everyone can do that. And that doesn't mean that I usually take, this is my speed in my green belt and black belt session. In green belt and black belt sessions, we are very much relaxed. We do it together simultaneously. I also ask you to do. But as a yellow belt, I want to give you lots of tools in short time, and that is why my speed is little on the higher side. Okay. Okay, great. So I hope you have understood what is critical to quality measure or characteristic. I hope you have understood there is a specification assigned to every measure. I hope you have understood there is a customer for every output. I hope you have understood the customer is interested in products or services, but the value, more in the value derived from the products or services, and how he or she measures using CTQs. I hope you are with me up to here. Now let me introduce one Japanese term called Gemba. Gemba means go to the field, go to the place of action and see how the things are taking place. Now, I just showed you the overall picture of an organization. See, the system map can be done for every department. It could be done for every process. It could be done for an individual also. In one of the sessions, I did it for an individual. It's like the individual professional. Even you can do a systems map for yourself as well. You also operate as a system. You have a customer, you have a supplier. You are involved in multiple processes, isn't it? During the whole day, you deliver a lot of outputs. You have to have multiple customers, different outputs for different customers, isn't it? All of us are also acting as a system. So think of this application everywhere. Now you will find once you investigate any process or any system, or you do a process map, as is process map, by going to the place of action, which is Gemba walk, you will identify lots of things are there which are not adding any value, which are not adding any value, which are not adding any value. These are typically overproduction. You're producing more than required. You're waiting, transportation, overprocessing, inventory, rework, rejections, underutilized resources. These are all not adding any value. Approval times. Your processes were designed 10 years ago, 20 years ago. No one took time to rectify them or change them. They don't know today you have got the new technology. Some of the processes don't even know that they have a WhatsApp. Some of the organizations, they've forgotten they have a WhatsApp. That is why they have fax machines. Some organizations even have fax numbers. In today's world, when you can send any document to anyone in the whole world with just few clicks using your mobile phone, still they have fax numbers. Can you imagine? Can you believe? This is our typical mindset. A lot of waste is there in our system that needs to be removed. Removing that waste, these 7 typical wastes, removing this waste is lean. So what is lean? Mapping the process by doing a Gemba walk or Gemba investigation and identifying the waste in the system so that you are able to reduce cycle time. That is lean. Okay, simple. What is Six Sigma? Six Sigma is about reducing the variation in the process so that you are able to produce as per the customer's specifications. Okay, let me take an example now. Let us take an example of our chocolate weight. Weight of the chocolate should be 100 grams plus minus 3 grams. What is lower specification limit? 97 grams. And what is upper specification limit? 103 grams, right? Okay, this appears to be a little congested. I will draw this on the whiteboard. So what is the specification limit? Specification limits are specifications set by the customers are weight should be 100 plus minus 3 grams. So let me draw this here. Okay. Lower specification limit is 97 grams. Upper specification limit is 103 grams. And now a warning signal. Boop, 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 boop. I'm entering to statistical world. Be alert. Yeah. Okay. You thought it's very easy. Sure. No. It takes time. It takes a lot of effort, right? Some people will start leaving now. Oh, no, sorry, it's not my cup of tea. Please understand, it is everyone's cup of tea. The whole world belongs to data analytics, my dear friend. Now, the next decade belongs to data analytics. Some people say this is the next century belongs to data analytics. Now, I would not make that statement, but at least the next decade belongs to data analytics. So you have to understand things related to data, how to collect the data, how to analyze the data, and how to make sense out of the data. Many things I will tell you today. And one of them is what I'm telling you now. Lower specification limit and upper specification limit is 97 grams to 103 grams. I hope you are with me till now. Keep telling me so that I will increase or decrease my speed accordingly. Now, if I tell you the way I have trained my people, the way I maintain my machine, the way I follow my standard operating procedure, my all chocolates will not be produced within 97 to 103. Let's see, let's go and collect some samples, 30, 40 samples if I collect. Some of them are 100 grams. Some are going up to 101. Some are going up to 102. Some are going up to 103. Some are even going up to 104. Some are going up to 105. And some are going up to 106. Wow. And this is also the same case here. I'm going up to 90, let us say 4 grams. Do you think the customers are happy? Customers are receiving some percentage of customers. Let's say I'm just putting some number. You can easily calculate this percent. The scope of calculate how to calculate this percentage is not in the scope of yellow belt. So don't worry. But let's say this is 3%. And this is also 3%. 3% is off specification, off spec. We called it as defects. These are defects. There could be one-sided specification also, like if your waiting time is more than 30 minutes, it's a defect. So the one-sided also could be there. I'm just taking two-sided example. So total defects produced is 6%. 6% or 6 in 100. Or in 1 million products or services, it will be how much? 60,000. 60,000 defects per million opportunities. Lots and lots of defects I'm producing. 60,000 in 1 million chocolates are off specification, not satisfying my customer. Customer is unhappy, you are giving me less. And of course, my management, who is also my customer, 63% of the time they're saying, hey, you are giving too much. Yeah. Both are unhappy. I'm doing my best, but both are unhappy. Right? Reducing this variation. See, Mr. Goss, he found that most of the processes, most of the repetitive processes, repetitive means repeating, keeps repeating. Processes are repetitive. Yeah, processes are repetitive. Project is not repetitive. Project is one time endeavor. I told you that, right? But processes are repetitive, right? So Lean Six Sigma, what is Lean Six Sigma? Improving the processes using project approach. So there your outputs are within the specification limits. Another definition of Lean Six Sigma I'm giving you. Now I'll complicate the definition now because you are now complicated person. Now you know lots of stuff. So what is Lean Six Sigma? Lean Six Sigma is improving the processes. See, unless I improve my process, unless I improve the process, my output is not going to improve, my dear friend. Your cycle times are not going to improve. Don't focus on the output. Let us give this a name. These output measures, mathematics, we give all that. Y, these are the Y. Y means the output. And the X factors, these are the X factors. These are my X factors. Time taken to complete this one activity, 2-second activity. These are my X factors. I will talk more about X factors a little later. Don't get confused. But the thing is, unless I focus on my X factors, my Y cannot be controlled. My cycle times actually depend on the X factors, my processes, my inputs. If the inputs are defective, whatever you do, your output will be defective. Your focus should not be on inspecting and checking. Am I producing good outputs? No, your focus should be on inputs and processes. If your inputs and processes are perfect, your output will be automatically perfect. The result, our focus is mostly on result. And focus on result will terrorize you. It will give you high blood pressure. It will give you stress, nothing else. Yeah. But if you focus on inputs, which is in your hands, processes which are in your hand, automatically output will be perfect. Yeah. So whole focus is on inputs and processes. And don't blame the people, by the way. People are nowhere in the picture. 85% of the problems in the organizations are due to the processes and systems and not people. No one comes to the organization thinking, today I'm going to commit a mistake. Today I'm going to, dissatisfy my customer. Today my job is to produce 10 errors. Collectively, let's say 20 people are going to an office or a factory or a company, whichever. Think of your organization. maybe 200, right? 200 people are going. No one thinks today our goal is to produce 100 customer complaints. But what exactly happens when they come out of the company in the evening? There are 100 customers complaints. Trust me, there are. In fact, next day also you can imagine 100 will be 100 plus minus a little bit here. You can imagine that if people go to this company, 100 customer complaints will be there. You can predict. Means the complaints are designed in the process, not in the people. Yeah. Change the process, same people will deliver great results. Change the process. And changing the process is easy. Changing the people is difficult. Changing the process is easy. Changing the people are difficult. Now, I have not changed. My actually, I had dinner very recently. After 35 years, I was meeting my school friend. And we had a nice dinner. And he told me that you are the same person. I also told him you are the same person after meeting 35 years. By the way, I'm very old, that 55-year-old now, so 35 years. So after acquiring so many degrees and so many clients, so many companies, I showed you those who missed out, it's okay. But in the beginning, I showed, I have done these trainings, that trainings, a lot of people, well-known people have attended my sessions. And this person is telling me I'm the same person. My dear friend, it's very difficult to change a person. The person will not change. But change the process, and the output, which is delivered by this person following the process which you gave it to him, will be changed. So the focus is on output. No, sorry, not on the output. Focus is on the process and the inputs. And all the tools and techniques in Lean Six Sigma are related to processes and inputs. So focus is on the X factors. X factors. Now coming back, let us not forget where we were. In between, a little bit of knowledge sessions will be given to you, but we'll not leave where we were. So now, coming back to our chocolate, the chocolate which we are producing. So we are producing lots of chocolates. And Mr. Goss, I was telling you about Mr. Goss. He found that the repetitive processes, in 17th or 18th century, he had a lot of time, it appears. So if he studied lots of repetitive processes, and he found that this is the probability distribution curve of any measure, which is a result of a repetitive process. So if I let's say, take an example of, I'm traveling to my office every day. It's a process. My traveling time is sometimes 30 minutes, 31 minutes, 21 minutes, 28 minutes, 26 minutes, 36 minutes, and so on and so forth. 30 samples give me an average of 30. X bar is sample average. Please understand, X bar is sample average. Sample average. And every process has got a standard deviation. Now, I will not talk too much about standard deviation, but if you are interested in how to calculate the standard deviation, and if you are interested in even deriving the formula for standard deviation, please watch my video, which is available on Anexas Europe channel. Please subscribe to the channel. You will get access to all the videos. Right now, I will give you the link. The link will take you to the video, but this is only one time you can open it. But if you want to open it every time, just subscribe to the channel. And once you subscribe to the channel, you will get access to lots of videos of my training program, including this video, which is running right now. So please watch this video yourself, but trust me, right now, you can very easily calculate the standard deviation of any given data, even using a simple Excel. I will demonstrate using Minitab after a while. After, let's say, half an hour, I will show you the demonstration of Minitab. Minitab is a software program, which we give you when you join our green belt and black belt sessions. We give you the software. This is used by all the companies who implement Lean and Six Sigma. It's used by everyone in the industry. So we provide that to you, and we make you practice on Minitab as well. Today, I'll show you the demonstration. It's very easy. It's just like an Excel. Don't think it's a rocket science. Very, very easy. So average is 30 minutes I found of my traveling time. So this is my travel time. Yeah. So Mr. Goss, because this is a repetitive process, Mr. Goss would have told me today if he were alive, well, your traveling time follows this probability distribution. Most of the time you are taking 30 minutes and sometimes you are taking not going beyond a particular limit. And he said that it can be very easily predicted by just putting plus and minus 3. So this is plus 1 times sigma, plus 2 times standard deviation. This is minus 1 times standard deviation. This is minus 2 times standard deviation. So you can easily predict my performance. Here, of course, travel performance, time taken to travel. Very easily you can predict by just collecting 30 samples and calculating the average and calculating the standard deviation. Okay. Okay, so now, if I apply this Mr. Gaussian theorem, let me apply Gaussian theorem to my traveling example. Then we'll go back to the chocolate and we'll not forget our chocolate. And we have to define our lean, what is Six Sigma also. Yeah. So we'll not, to arrive at some simple definition, we have to pass through complicated journey. Yeah. Okay. So now let us try to predict. And some of you would have understood. Those who have not understood, you can repeat this video recording again and again multiple times, and you will understand for sure. But now, this is average, which is 30 minutes. 1 time standard deviation is how much? 30 plus 1 time standard deviation will be 5, right? So plus 5 here, 35. This will be minus 5, 25, right? Yeah. What will be plus 2 times standard deviation? Anyone? So Mustafa, don't worry, you will be able to get the recording. Don't worry. And related to the certificates, yes, we can provide. We'll give you the. Yeah, don't worry about it. If you can answer Mustafa's question, yes. So 35 here, 40 and 45. So 20 and 15. Yeah. I hope everyone got this. This we will call it as lower control limit and upper control limit. Lower control limit and upper control limit. Lower control limit and upper control limit. Please remember control limits. So Cyber Rahman definitely will send you the video. Everyone will receive the video, don't worry. But you have to attend this till the end. Then only you'll be able to get. But yeah, focus on the learning and LCL and UCL, lower control limit and upper control limit. Now, this is not specification limit, please remember. So here, if you go, these are my lower and upper control limit of my chocolates. Now, if I just replace this with the probability distribution, my chocolate production is something like this. My lower control and upper control limits are going beyond the specification limit of the customers. And I can predict my average weight of the chocolate is 100, but the standard deviation is 2, right? 2 grams. Why am I saying so? Because average is 100. 1 standard deviation is 102. 2 standard deviation is 104. And the 3 standard deviation is 106. Right? Similarly, here it's 98. Then here it is 96. This is 94. Yeah. Because average is 100 and standard deviations too. It is not producing the desired result. I hope you understood control limits. Lower control limit and upper control limit are known as voice of process. They are known as voice of process. My process is telling, my traveling process is telling me, well, I will take between 15 minutes to 45 minutes. The way I travel, the way I, use my vehicle, the way I maintain the vehicle, the kind of route I'm taking, all these things are going to give me 15 to 45 minutes. And if I just put it as a control chart, lower control limit is 15 minutes and upper control limit is 45 minutes. Yeah. So it is like, one day I'll take, maybe this average is 30 minutes. One day I'll take 35 minutes. One day I'll take 26 minutes. So this is how my process will be. Yeah. This is how my behavior of the process. That is why we call this as voice of process. Also, this is known as voice of process. Yeah. And the variation within the voice of process is expected. Every day I can't take 30 minutes, sometimes 35, sometimes 26, sometimes 39. And someone asks me why this variation is there. Why this variation is there, I can't explain. You may attempt to explain. Let's say, let me attempt to explain. This is my traveling time. Yeah. Why I am taking sometimes more, sometimes less. Well, there are a lot of, let us call this as Y, the output. Yeah. Travel time is my output measure. And the X factors could be traffic, my mood, yeah, the route I am taking. Can you give me some more examples? The factors on which my travel time depends, the vehicle I am using, the condition of the vehicle, and so on and so forth, right? Everything, every day, my mood is not stable, isn't it? There is a variation. Traffic is also not stable. There is a variation. Route is not stable. There is a variation. I take sometimes route A, sometimes route B. Oversleeping. And there's so many things. All these variations are adding up in the system and producing this variation. So we say commonly all the X factors. I just wrote some of them, but you can add on more. Commonly, all these X factors are acting on the system. And we call it as common cause variation. Common cause variation. Okay. Now, one fine day I take, so if my boss asks me, yesterday you took 25 minutes, today you are taking 35 minutes, why? I will say, well, it is common cause variation. There is no specific reason for that. Yeah. But suppose one day I took, let us say, 90 minutes. If my boss asks me, why 90 minutes? I will not say it is due to the common cause variation. I'll say, I'll give a specific reason. Maybe today the traffic was too high, there was an accident, maybe whatever. But I'll give a special reason, special cause. We call this as a special cause variation, special variation. Special cause. Yeah. Now think of any company. Let's say, let's take a sales process, a production process. It could be any sales production process. Now, instead of 15 minutes, I say 15 tons per day to 45 tons per day is my production. Or if it is sales, $15,000 per day or to $45,000 per day is my sales. This is a per day sales. Now, typically what happens is in organizations, let's take sales example. We have today we have sold $40,000. We celebrate, we say, oh, wow, the team, last 3-4 months, this is the best day ever. And we are very happy. We celebrate in the cafeteria. The next day, the sales go to 25. And the manager is, he wants to take, like he threw a party in the cafeteria. Now he wants to take back the party. He wants to take back the recognition. He thinks recognition is backfired. And then he gives some, nice lecture. And after that, it increases. He thinks my lecture has really made a difference. And then it goes down next day. He thinks, let me call a motivational speaker. And he calls a motivational speaker. This motivational speaker tells everyone, yes, you can do. Yeah, you are the one. You're born to win. You are the person who can achieve greater things. Blah, blah, blah. Now, lots of things. They'll inspire you. And you think, oh, wow, you are the Superman. And you find that, next day it has gone up to, let's say, 32. So you say that, well, this improvement is due to this motivational speaker. But unfortunately, these things are not true. A green belt or a black belt will say, these are all common cause variation. Either you improve, either you bring in this speaker or not. You will continue to oscillate between 15 minutes to 45 minutes. Today, tomorrow, next day, next to next day, next to next week, continuously. This is the DNA of your process, the way you have trained your people, the way you have maintained your software, the kind of softwares you use, the kind of ads you give, the kinds of strategies you have. You will continue to be given $15,000 to $45,000 of sales. And same thing is true for production. Same thing is true for errors. The same thing is true for waiting time in your hospitals. I'm talking about the statistical tools. You please apply these examples to your process. Please understand. To understand the concept, you can easily apply this to your. All the processes and products and services in the world can be expressed in terms of numbers. So I'm talking about numbers. I'm talking about statistical tools applicable to all industries. Now, coming back, you will continue to operate like this. Do you want this? Are you happy with 15,000 to 45,000 sales? Of course not. Customer specification is, here's the boss's customer, right? It should be above 40,000. So what is your job as a Lean and Six Sigma green belt and a black belt? You have to now change the control limits. LCL, new control limits. You have to change the control limits of the process. Yeah. So that it's above the specification limit of the customer. Now, I hope you are able to understand the difference between specification limit and control limits. Control limits are obtained from the process. Control limits are, collect the data, get the average, get the standard deviation. You will get your lower control and upper control limits, right? And when you are operating, you are within the specification limit. See, when the customer is happy, you are happy. He will keep you happy, right? And the customer will say you are not producing any defects. Earlier, given this situation, given today's situation, these are all defects. You are below the specification limit, right? These are all defects. Maybe it's 80%. 80% defects you are producing today. The whole idea is to increase or basically go within the specification limits of the customers. The customer will be happy. This was about sales, but if I just talk about, let's say, waiting time or delivery time in logistics company, you'd like to, there's a specification limit, waiting time or in a hospital, it's 20 minutes. or delivery time or response time to the customer for a particular request is 20 minutes. This is the upper specification limit. In that case, you have to bring your process to a new control limit. Means you are changing the DNA of the process. Are you getting it? Today you are operating like this. Now this is new normal. This is also normally distributed, by the way. We call it as normal distribution. I did not tell you the name here. This is known as normal distribution. Why it is known as normal distribution? Because it is normal to opt in a normal distribution. Mr. Gauss, he found it is very normal to opt in a normal distribution. That is why he called it as normal distribution. So this is the new normal. This is the new normal. This is our previous normal. And this is the improvement. And this is not going to happen easily in a meeting or threatening someone or telling, if you don't do the job, I'll kick you out of the company. It's not going to work like this. You have to do proper root cause analysis. You have to do a DMAC project. That is why DMAC project or Lean Six Sigma projects are done for chronic problem. Chronic problem is you have been operating in a certain way for the last 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Your infection rates in your hospitals are 4%. You would like to reduce it to 1%. Then do the DMAC projects. Your production has been around 30 tons plus minus 5 10 tons. You would like to increase to 60 tons plus minus 5 to 10 tons. That requires DMAC improvement project. I hope you are with me. I hope it's not too complex for you. I can make it easy also. I can make it easy as well. As a yellow belt, I'm taking, I'm teaching you a lot of very high-end concepts, which generally people don't even teach in green belt. But I hope you are with me. And I hope you are able to understand. Are you with me, or is it too complicated for you? Are you with me? Okay. You are, I hope. I've not lost people. Okay. So these are things. We have learned lots of advanced concepts as of now. But the best part is, even though you are not aware of it, these normal distributions exist. Voice of processes exist. Every machine has a voice. Every process has a voice. You see, you have not heard it. That's your problem. Your machine is trying to say something to you. Your process is trying to say something to you. Every process has got a voice. You have to just collect 30 samples, get your average, get your standard deviation, and you will hear the voice. So let's go back to our chocolate voice. What is the voice of process? Well, it's telling, sorry, standard deviation is 2 grams. And if it is 2 grams, I will be 100 plus 100. What plus 2 is 102, plus 2 is 104, plus 2 is 106. How can I improve this? By reducing the variation. But whatever, now let us see. Let's say if I change the standard deviation to 1, what will happen? This is 100. 1 standard deviation is 101. 2 standard deviation is 102. And 3 standard deviation is, okay, let me make it to scale. Yeah. Okay. Let's make it to scale, proper scale. So earlier this was 100, right? This was, say, 102. This was 103. Sorry. 101, 102, 103. Yeah. So 102 and this is 104. Yeah. So coming back, now my average is 100. Standard deviation is now 1. So now it will be 101, 102, and 103. Here it will be 97, 98, and 90. Sorry, 99, 97, and 98, and 97. Right? So Now, am I producing defects? Or just let me know. Has my defects reduced? Yes or no? I'm still producing some defects. Still, there is something. Still, something is going. But it's not 3%. It is now maybe 1% here and 1% here. It has reduced. Reducing the variation has reduced my defects. And the voice of process is now almost matching the voice of customer. This was my voice of customer. This was my voice of customer. Right? And this is my new voice of process. New voice of process is now almost matching. Now, if I reduce the standard deviation to 0.5, so it will be something like this. The probability of producing defect is very, very low in this case. The probability of producing the defects is very, very low, 0.00001. In fact, it will be only 3 defects in 1 million opportunities. 0.0000034, something like this. Just 3 defects in 1 million opportunities. We call this a Six Sigma process. Six Sigma means why? Now my new standard deviation is 0.5, 101. See, plus minus 3 gets finished here itself in 101.5. I am 6 times standard deviation away from the mean. This whole is now 6 times standard deviation away from. Very, very far away. I'm not even, there's a very rare probability that my chocolates will go beyond 97 to 103 grams. Yeah. So we call it as a Six Sigma process. Very, very, very rarely. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be at Six Sigma process. Now, things are not so complicated, by the way. I just wanted to explain to you some statistical concepts, but in reality, things are not so complicated. Let us learn the easier way and let us see how to reduce the variation and how to reduce the waste. And for that, we have to understand the methodology of DMAC. So now, in 3 sentences, lean and 3 sentences. Lean is do the process mapping by Gemba investigation, reduce the waste so that your cycle time is reduced. And the Six Sigma is about find out the voice of customer, find out the voice of process, and make the process behave within the voice of customer. So voice of process should be within the voice of customers. Or reduce the variation so that you reduce the defects. Another way of defining Six Sigma is this. How it is achieved? Through green belts, black belts, and master black belts. Yellow belts are the people who know the basics of Lean and Six Sigma. In fact, I have taught you today. Actually, I taught you too much, more than what a yellow belt should know. In fact, yellow belt is a very simple program. Now the simple program starts. Yeah. I was like, sometimes, because you were giving me too much of a good response, I taught you some very advanced concepts. But now the simple ones are coming up now. Yellow belts are the people who know the basics of DMAC, but they can't do a project. Green belts can do the projects. They know around 100 tools. Black belts know around 150 tools totally, means 100 plus 50, which are a little bit complex in nature, in the sense that the one which we discussed just now. They also know design of experiments, hypothesis tests, etc., binary logistic regression, etc. In short, they can solve all the quality related problems in the whole world using statistical techniques. So they have got tools and techniques to solve all the problems. Master black belts know how to run Lean Six Sigma initiatives in the organization. And our organization is one of the very few organizations which conducts both green, black, master black, all of the, in fact, all four. Not many organizations conduct all the four programs. We conduct everything, yellow. There is one whole white belt also. So white belt is a very, very initial stage. White belt is too elementary. So you can consider yourself as a white belt and a yellow belt. If you want to get a white belt certificate, go to our website, answer 5 questions. You would be able to answer the 5 questions now. Answer 5 questions and download the white belt certificate right away. If you want. Don't just wait for a yellow belt, right? Still 1 hour to go, right? Just wait. You can go for, then you can get 2. White belt also you can get, yellow belt also you can get. So master black belts are the people who can drive multiple projects, who can guide, who can be like me, who can train others. Yeah. Or roll out Six Sigma in their organizations. Yeah. Okay. By the way, yeah, I also conduct training programs in different, like Hindi as well. If you are interested in attending my Hindi sessions next week, you can enroll. Yeah. But the certificate will be also in Hindi. Okay, please remember that. Okay. Now let us see DMAP. Define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. DMAP. So we learn CPHQ, we learn project charter in the define phase. So when you want to do a project, first you define your problem and write a project charter and do a CPHQ of that process which you want to improve. Then comes the measure phase. Now you collect the data and then see how the data is performing, what is the control limits, whether the process is under control or not. We say the process is under control if it is within the control limits. And I'm talking about control limits, not specification limits. If it is not having any special causes, that means it's under control. So the process is under control means it is ready to improve. If it is process is out of control, that means process needs to be, you need to eliminate the special causes, bring the process within control and improve. So we'll see that now, how to do that. Then we'll analyze why this problem is there. We'll use cause and effect, Pareto, box plots, scatter plots. Then we'll also map the process, identify the non-value-added activities. Then we will get to the root cause. Once we get to the root cause, we will brainstorm on the solutions. Now, there are many other tools I have not mentioned because in Greenbelt, we teach you lots of other tools like FMEA, different types of control charts, sampling techniques, sample size formula, lots of advanced techniques are there in Greenbelt. Black belt, we teach you multiple regression, binary logistic regression, ANOVA, chi-square test, design of experiments. But right now, as a yellow belt, these tools are good for you to understand. And let me now show you a project. So as we learn DMAC, I will also do a project and we'll follow define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. First, we'll define the problem, then we'll measure how are you performing. Then we will analyze why we are performing like that. And in the improve phase, we will improve on the root cause. Whatever root cause we find, we'll improve on that. And in the control phase, we would like to sustain it for the long time. We would like to, hold the gains for a long time. Okay. So are you ready? Now, the things will be easy. Don't worry. No statistics. Enough of statistics. Oh, I think some people, are you tired? I hope You are still with me? So in the next 15 minutes to 20 minutes, I will, uh, I will, so you're not tired. Very good. Thanks. So people are very energetic, right? Okay, let me drink some water. Many people are telling you they're interested in Lean Six Sigma certification with us. I will tell you I'll tell you the dates and how to enroll with us. I'll tell you in a short while. Yeah. So in the define phase, first we do a cyber. See, first we farm a team. Problems are in the process. So they want to reduce the recruitment cycle time. Okay. We want to reduce the recruitment cycle time in the company. This project actually I had done for one company in Abu Dhabi in 2011, long time ago. So first we identify the team and identify the process owner. Process owner means the manager of the process in whose process you are doing the project. So here, recruitment manager is the process owner. Then the champion or the sponsor is the head of the department in whose process you are doing the project. So here, HR director is the sponsor of the champion. And master black belts are people like me. And by the way, you can also become a master black belt in the next 2 months, 3 months. We have done we have trained lots of master black belts. A lot of master black belts are conducting training programs in Canada, US, Saudi Arabia, Oman, India, Australia, Europe. I'm still in touch with them. In fact, we help you to even start your own consulting if you're a master black belt. Or you can do a green plus black belt, master black belt at one go. Continuously, of course. First become a green, then become a black, then become a master black. Okay, so let us come back now to our project, CPHQ. First, I do a CPHQ, and I hope you remember, I told you CPHQ, right? I hope you remember. Supplier, input, process, output, and customer. When you are doing a CPHQ, usually we start with the customers. Identify the customers. Customers. Then what is the output? Recruited employee. What are the basic steps? What are the basic steps? 4, 5 to 6 steps. What are the inputs? Who are the suppliers? Measures on the output is known as the Y. Here the Y is recruitment time. In fact, you will go to the customers and ask the customers, how do you think about my output? The customers will tell you, a lot of stuff. You convert those sentences into measurable characteristics, measures. And one of the measures here is, of course, recruitment time. So recruitment time is something which I am going to reduce. And this recruitment time depends on lots of X factors. So the measures on inputs and processes are known as X factors. Okay. Now, when we teach you a tool, we also prepare every tool. We prepare you for the interview question also. So, for example, this one. I will not show it for every tool, by the way. I'm just giving a demonstration. When you come to my green belt or black belt session, we prepare you for the interviews also. So, what will be the interviewer ask?
We are discussing about the Lean and Six Sigma interview questions. Let me talk about CPHQ. CPHQ is a tool derived from Deming's systems approach. He used to say that 85% of the problems are due to the processes and only 15% are contributed by the people. It is a tool that gives you 50,000 feet overview of the process. If you give me only one page to give maximum information about the process, then I would use a CPHQ. So if you are asked about the CPHQ, then you can say that it is a tool that is used to see the overall process in one instant. It gives the whole picture of suppliers, inputs, process, output, and customers. And the CPHQ, the acronym, stands for that. It makes us follow the systems approach of Deming. It is usually done in the define phase immediately after you have written the project charter. Once we know the project, then we make a SIPOC on the process in which you are doing the project. This helps us to focus on the process rather than blaming the people for all the defects, errors, and delays. To make a SIPOC, we move from right to left. That means we start by identifying the customers, then the output, then process steps, and the inputs and the suppliers. SIPOC helps us to identify the inputs or the X factors which are influencing our output, that is the Y. Because Y is function of X, SIPOC is the starting point of using the statistical methods. After that, you can give an example of a SIPOC of a process from the organization for which you are appearing for an interview. I hope you found this useful. If you liked it, then you can forward to your friends too, and keep letting me know which questions you would like me to answer.
Okay, so now do you agree with this? Some data can be measured and some data cannot be measured. Do you agree with that? Some of you are saying, yes, agree. Some of you are saying, no, yes, no. Well, you have to disagree. Yeah. So you can't improve if you cannot measure, and everything can be measured. That's the rule number 2. Rule number 3 is if you think something cannot be measured, go back to rule number 2. That means everything can be measured. Now, how to measure everything? There are 2 types of data. So everything can be easily measured on the continuous data, but some of the things which we cannot measure or we think cannot be measured, you can use attribute data or discrete data or categorical data. You can have counts. Continuous data is something on a number line, on a continuous number line, a point. Let's say my age, 54.9, right? 54.8 or 9, whatever it is. 54 point. So it's a point. Years means unit. So usually a continuous data will have a unit and there is a possibility of a decimal point. Yeah. Recruitment time. 30 to 40 samples are good enough. 30 to 50 samples are good enough, approximately, to make a good judgment about the whole population. I'm talking about the whole population. Doesn't matter whether this population size is 1,000, 10,000, 1 million, 1 billion, doesn't matter. In my Greenbelt training programs, we take we just collect the data of heights of people attending the session, and we predict about the whole world population. We get the average, we get the standard deviation, and we predict plus minus 3 times standard deviation. Usually we'll find our range is between 4 feet to 7 and 7.5 feet. So 99% of the people lie within that. And that's a fact, right? Very easily it can be proven. Just 30 samples, good enough. For attribute data, around 200 to 1,000 samples is good enough. Let me give an example of how to measure. Here, I think, okay.
Hi, I'm Amitabh Saxena, and thanks.
Okay, I know that you're Amitabh Saxena. Okay, here. Let me. Okay, where is it? This one, yeah. So I just explained what is continuous data. Height, cycle time, 3.5 hours. So these are all examples.
Because they all have a possibility of a decimal, means they can be expressed in decimal points, and also they all have a unit. Now let us talk about attribute data. Attribute data can be expressed in categories, and categories can be counted. Say, for example, if you want to measure happiness, so easiest way to measure any attribute data is to create a category, and if possible, you can create a binary category. A presence or absence of that attribute can be one of the simplest categories.
So here I'm giving you a good trick to measure everything. How? First, write down the attribute which you want to measure. So here I'm taking example of happiness. Happiness, people will say, how can I measure? Well, binary category is always possible. Presence or absence of happiness. Happy, unhappy, right? Then find out how many people are happy, how many are not unhappy. Let's say you see, purpose of measuring is what? Improvement, right? And you want to increase the happiness of your, let's say, staff. So how will you measure happiness of your staff? By doing a survey.
So if I take the example of happiness, two categories I can create: happy, unhappy. So if I want to increase the happiness in the employees in the organization, then I can always count how many employees are happy. Let's say 60 employees are happy and 40 employees are unhappy. I can express this as proportion. That means proportion of happy employees in my organization is 0.6 and proportion of unhappy employees is 0.4. And it can also be expressed as percentage. Now, this proportion or percentage, they don't have a unit. And a count like 60 employees, I can't have 60.1 employees who are happy. So the count will not have any decimal point. So this is what continuous data and attribute data is.
So please understand.
It is very important to know the difference between continuous and attribute data. And it is very important to understand what is continuous data and what is attribute data.
Because the tool which we'll use will depend on what type of data you are looking at. So you could see here that, I'm measuring happiness. And I'm saying that today my employees are 60% happy. And I can take up an improvement project to make employees 80% happy. Yeah. Now you may context that, how can I measure? Are you sure that 60% employees are happy? See, using 100, 200 employees, let's say you have got 20,000 employees in your company. But just collecting data of 200 employees, how can you say that? But let me tell you, my friend, even if you have collected data of 2,000 or 20,000 people, this won't be so much different. And I'm talking about if you're collecting the random data. It won't be 60% will not look like 90%. It will look 62%, sometimes 58%. But it will be somewhere around that, let's say 60 plus minus. I can call it as error. Sampling error, isn't it? Because I'm dealing with samples. So some vagueness is there, I cannot be so precise. But even if I'm not so precise, still it serves my purpose. So today I'm 60 plus minus 5%, 60%. And after 3 months, I do something, some more, whatever I find the root cause why people are unhappy. And then after that, you can improve the happiness. And that can be achieved by, again, measurement only. When you are interpreting continuous data, you can make a histogram. I already told you about histogram, right? Like recruitment time. But when you are looking at happiness, I cannot make a histogram. I can make a bar chart like happy, unhappy, or a pie chart. Yeah. If I get 3 categories, or let's say 4 categories, A, B, C, D. Here in case of happiness and unhappiness, happy is 0.6 and this is 0.4. So continuous data, I can make histogram. Attribute data, I can make pie chart or a bar chart. And we'll always talk in terms of proportions. We can also talk in terms of percentage, like instead of proportions, some people say percentage. Cent means 100. So instead of 0.6, proportion means portion out of 1. If the circle is 1, so what is proportion? Portion out of 1 is 0.6. If it is percentage, it is portion out of 100. So this 0.6 will become 60%. So whichever way you want to measure, you can measure. But basically, attribute data will be measured in terms of proportions. Statistically, proportion is the right measure. If you are dealing with the advanced statistics, we generally be happy with that. So now, what we will do in a define phase, we also write a project charter where we will write what is the problem statement, what is the goal statement. Problem statement, 50 days. I would like to reduce it to 30 days of the goal statement. And if I am able to do that, I will save a lot of money for the organization. I'll save a lot of money for the organization. And then I will start measuring. And why is the symptoms? Root causes are the X factors. I will focus not only on why, but also on the X factors. We know why. And when we collect the data, we identify a defect. We actually define a defect. Any recruitment taking more than 60 days is a defect. So when we collect the data, when it is continuous data, I will do a histogram. So let me do a histogram and let me show you a histogram first. So we have collected the data and I'm using Minitab right now. I'm just using Minitab for you. This Minitab is, we train you in Minitab when you join our Greenbelt sessions. So for the timing, I'll just quickly do it for you. So this is my average. Average recruitment time is 50 days and standard deviation is 5 days. And if I want to do a control chart, because average I know and standard deviation I know, I can ask the Minitab to do a control chart also. So Minitab can do a control chart as well. And the process is under control. There are no special causes. On an average, I am taking 50 days. It goes as low as sometimes 36 days. Sometimes it goes as high as 64 days. So I'm somewhere between the two and I'm like predictable process, stable process, but I'm not happy with the process. That is why I want to do an improvement project. There's a reason I'm doing an improvement project. Now I will move on. So I have made my histogram and also defined my defects. Out of how many number of defects are 27 out of 43. So in 1 million recruitments, how many would have been delayed? 627,000 defects, which corresponds to a sigma level. Right now, looking at the sigma table, etc., is not in the scope of our discussion in the yellow belt, but it's very easy. It takes half an hour to explain that. You can easily get that. So 1.14 is the current sigma level today. Well, let's improve. You can, in the analyze phase, you analyze further root causes. You can take a process door or you can take a data door. Process door is more like a lean door. Make an as-is process map, do a Gemba walk, do a value added and non-value added analysis. In the data door, you do a cause and effect diagram, control impact matrix, Pareto chart, box plots, and scatter plots. Let's see one by one. First, the process door. First, I will map the process in detail. I'll map the process in detail and I will, now I have to expand. In the SIPOC, I just thought of 5 to 6 basic steps, but now I have to expand in detail and identify the wastes, the 7 or 8 wastes. I can also use a technique called escape technique. Eliminate, simplify, combine, automate, and parallel. Yeah. This technique, in fact, along with a case study, I have got a very nice video on my YouTube channel, Anexas YouTube channel. I told you already to subscribe to that. Anexas YouTube channel. You can always have a look at it. Using an example, I have shown how to use escape, eliminate, simplify, combine, automate, and parallel. So you'll ask these 5 questions on each step. Can I eliminate? Yeah, of course, you can eliminate. Can I combine? Yes, you can combine them. Can I automate? Yes, of course, you can automate this process. Can I make these 2 things in parallel? Why not? So all these things will give you a new process in just 2 to 3 hours of discussion. This is the magic of process analysis. Of course, you have to learn these tools techniques before you actually execute them. Then data door, you ask the people to think of all the possible causes, all the possible causes which you can think of, and they write all the possible causes. A good tool to do this is Ishikawa diagram or fishbone diagram or cause and effect diagram given by Ishikawa, Dr. Ishikawa. He said that use 6M technique: man, machine, material, method, measurement, and Mother Nature. Mother Nature is actually environment. So try to brainstorm on all these 6 categories, and you will find that you'll get multiple causes. The idea is to generate as many causes as you can. Yeah. Then when you are doing brainstorming, you have to follow certain rules. I will talk about that if time permits. I will give you these rules also in a short while. But but for the time being, just imagine that you have conducted a brainstorming session for all the possible causes. Now, all the possible causes are not affecting. Some of them are affecting, and just to show you, even in Minitab, you can do this. See, under man, what are the causes? Well, these are the causes. Under machine, what are the causes? Well, these are the causes. Under material, these are the causes. So we have also put some of the possible causes categories. And very easily, nowadays, life is easy. Gone are the days of doing this. World is moving towards automation. Right now, still I have to move my fingers to make a cause and effect diagram. After some time, maybe wait for 2-3 years. To just say, well, please make a cause and effect diagram, and cause and effect diagram will be created. Right? Okay. But for the timing, you have to do some clicks. Now, I will tell you which clicks to be done. Very easy. Nothing, no rocket science here. So I've got my cause and effect diagram. Now, everything is not impacting, isn't it? So I will prioritize them using 80-20 rule, Pareto analysis. Anyone has heard about Vilfredo Pareto? Vilfredo Pareto was an Italian economist who found that 80% of the wealth in Italy is with 20% of the people, also called as 80-20 rule. So Joseph Juran applied this to quality. He said 80% of your problems, what are problems? 80% of your problems are due to 20% of your X factors. Don't try to improve everything in the company. Just focus on these X factors. And you can even validate them using some more tools and techniques. So here, let me show you how easy it is to make a Pareto chart. Although the theory of Pareto chart, I will not be able to explain right now in a short session today, but at least I'll give you the broad concept. So suppose whenever there is a delay in recruitment, I'm assigning a cause. Approval time was delayed. In this case, job description was not available. That is why this recruitment was delayed. Here, different types of hiring. There's a special type of hiring. Because of that, recruitments were delayed. So you'll find that some of the causes are appearing more times, more frequently as compared to others. So I can make a table, or I can directly make a Pareto chart. Nowadays, you can take advantage of that. And Minitab will count it for you. Assessment time is appearing 13 times. Job description not available is appearing 9 times. Approval time is appearing 6 times. And what is the total percentage of contribution? The total percentage of contribution of the first one is around 34%. Second one is 23%. And if you combine the two, 34 plus 23 comes to around 57%. If you combine the first 3 to 4, it comes to around 84%. So this one, what you are seeing here is, this is the cumulative line. So the first 3 or 4 together is giving you around 80% of your problem. So 80% of your problems in a way are due to these 4 root causes. You can further validate them. Using different advanced tools like box plot, scatter plot, regression. Now, I will not be able to tell you about all these tools, but briefly, let me talk about, let's say, scatter plots. See, we thought that job description availability, if Pareto indicated that job description availability is affecting, let us validate that. Pareto also indicated that long approval delays, approval time is affecting. So we collected some more data related to these X factors. So recruitment number 3452, approval time was 17 days. Job description was not available. Type of hiring, it was expat hiring. Assessment time was 18 days. And the recruitment time for that particular recruitment was 52 days. Okay. Similarly, I got information about 15, 20 more samples. Now let us see, is recruitment time getting impacted by approval time? Now, when both the data are continuous data, I hope you remember what is continuous data and attribute data, right? Recruitment time is continuous data, approval time is continuous data. Both the time are continuous data. I can use a scatter plot. To see the relationship between these X and Y factors. So Y variable is recruitment time and X variable is, let's say, approval time. And it appears that yes, approval time increases, recruitment time also increases. Well, but what about this? Approval time and assessment time, let us see, are they related? Well, assessment time. Well, they are not related. So maybe assessment time is not really the root cause. So forget about the assessment time. That is not the root cause. Don't worry. Don't improve the assessment time process, but focus on approval time. Can we think of some ideas to make it faster? So this is how we analyze. When I'm dealing with continuous and attribute data, like this is continuous and attribute data, then I will not use scatter plot. I will use a box plot. So let me use a box plot, but I'm using a categorical data. Let us see my recruitment time. Is it getting impacted by the job description availability? Well, job description, when it is available, my recruitment time ranges from 45 days to 50 days. And for when it is not available, my recruitment time is 55 to, like, say, 52 to 58 days. So obviously, job description availability is actually root cause. It should, if I ensure that job descriptions of all the jobs are available, it will really help my organization and it will improve my process. So that is my root cause. So this is how you actually get your root causes. And once you get root causes, now this was a summary. Continuous data, single column, I used a histogram or a graphical summary. For attribute data, if you remember, I used Pareto chart. When there are 2 columns, one is continuous, one is attribute, I used a box plot. When both are continuous, I used a scatter plot. Now, I just wanted to give you the basic summary of how the whole analysis works. Now, some people are asking how to attend my sessions. So before I proceed, by the way, improve and control are remaining. Some 2 phases I'm yet to tell you. But because you are asking questions, let me jump to the last few slides. But I'll come back now after 5 minutes, because some people are asking about, they want to attend my session. So first, let me ask, are you really interested? Because if you are not interested, there's no point in. So if you can just ask, you can answer this poll. Are you interested in attending my sessions? By attending the sessions, you will become an asset to your organization. Yeah. You will be able to immediately help your organization as a valuable person. So would you like to become a green belt or a black belt? And what will happen if you become a green belt or a black belt? You will get rid of inability to do anything if you face a problem. You will not depend on a job. You will not be waiting for promotion. Promotion will come to you. You will not be waiting for better opportunity. You will not be living with the problem. In fact, you will be problem solver. You'll be able to reduce the cost. You'll be able to improve the quality. You can even consult your own organization. You can start on your own. So thanks for participating in the survey. I see that many of you are interested, and those who are interested, you will get information from me about attending the session. And in fact, there is a very good offer going on. These are our, okay, sorry, these are the new old dates. Can you show the new dates, please? So we are starting our session now in a short, 29th April is starting 29th April, or if you don't have time for attending the 29th April batch, 27th. Now I have got 4 options for you. You can attend the sessions on Friday, Saturdays, that's a batch. There is another batch which is Saturday, Sunday. These are almost full days. I'll tell you the time as well. And if you don't have, like, if you want like weekday, Monday till Thursday, 2 hours. You can attend the morning batch of 2 hours every day. Or you can attend evening batch of 2 hours every day. Or you can sometimes interchange, or you can go and attend all the 4 batches. Why not? Not only this, if you complete our session one time, you can attend our session any number of times in future also. I see many of my people, my students who attended 20 years ago, they again come for revision. Sometimes CEOs, they were 20 years ago, they were very young people like me. I was also young once upon a time. So now they have become CEOs and business owners, very famous personality, ministers. By the way, Saudi Deputy Health Minister of Saudi Arabia, he's our student. And a lot of ministers in many countries, they are our students. Very famous names are our students. If time permits, I will show it to you. But right now, let us talk about the dates. So these are the dates. We can't see the dates. Can you down below? I think, yeah. These are the timings. So these are the timings. If you are interested in knowing the timings. So if it fits in your schedule, just think of your, sorry, I forgot to put off the poll. So you can attend and most welcome. Now, just to tell you that if you are going to, there are some more free sessions. Yeah, some more timings. Yeah, some more free sessions we conduct. You can attend those sessions also. Free PMP workshop, CPHQ workshop, yellow belt training, data science trainings, Power BI trainings. And we are actually, but now let me tell you, if you want to enroll for our green belt, how to enroll. Okay. So please enroll in a training. There's a link which will come to you. And the fee is also there, of course. For this yellow belt, if you want to just get the certificate, it is very, very minimum administration fee because the efforts of a lot of people is going here. So a fee which is equal to what you will pay for a lunch in a hotel. In that fee, you can download the yellow belt certificate. If you're interested, we'll give you the link. But if you are going for a green belt or black belt, yellow belt comes to you for free. So you can go for green belt, lean expert. If you are becoming a green belt with us, you also get a lean expert certificate. Black belt, master black belt, project completion certificates. Lots of, there's of course fee, but as an anniversary offer, next month you have a foundation day. Lot of fee, lot of things are totally free. Not only that, if you take up green plus black plus master black belt, you can also get up to 70% discounts on the published fee. So these are just the total fee, but on top of that, further you can get 50 to 70% discount, depending on how fast you enroll. So if you can enroll today or tomorrow, you'll get a very, very special fee. You'll be very happy to learn about that fee and how much it would be. You can always ask my team. Just fill in that. There's a link given to you. Just fill in that. We'll get back to you with the appropriate fee for you. If you do it today and tomorrow, these are the best prices. As you proceed further, after 30th April, we are going to increase the prices by 20% for all our trainings. And another thing is that because now pandemic is almost over, there will be very few programs now. Of course, we'll continue, but the frequency will be a little less because mostly, I'll be interested in conducting training programs and on-site because they are, as per our company, company would like to, there are a lot of shareholders of this company, right? So they would like to earn more money. So focus will be on in-house trainings or classroom trainings or companies trainings. So hurry up and try to grab this offer. It's a very, very good offer, trust me. So you are invited to attend my green belt, black belt, and master black belt training, and the certificates, worldwide certificates, valid. We are affiliated to IESSC. If you are interested in different certifications, you can choose your own certification, whichever certification you want. We'll prepare you for all certifications. AEC certification is included in the fee. Anexas Europe certification will be included in the fee. You'll get a link for appearing for the exam on towards the end of the session. And for AEC certifications, we ensure that you pass. Everyone passes the examination. And as I said, you can again appear for our trainings. Revise the trainings as many times as you want and ensure that you definitely get a certificate. So assuring you that everyone gets a certificate. Now, you have any questions? I'll be happy to answer the questions. I will, some credentials from, let's say this is National Healthcare Service Hospital.
Well, we have Alex with us, and he has done excellent Lean and Six Sigma projects in National Healthcare Service and in hospitals. So, Alex, would you like to tell us something about it?
Hello, I'm Alex Wells, Head of Service Improvement at the Royal Liverpool University Hospital. I've been really fortunate to present today on how us as a trust are using Lean and Six Sigma principles to deliver better care for our patients. I've presented today on a lot of the work that we've done around how we've improved patient outcomes, reducing mortality, improving length of stay, and also talked about how we can actually realise some financial benefits from that. Over the past 2 years, we've been really fortunate that we've done some good work, and it's actually delivered us £2 million worth of quality efficiencies through delivering better patient care.
And before that, when people, if it's in-house training, we also do in-house training. If your organization needs it, then we launch the program by identifying the right projects, creating an infrastructure, identifying the projects in different departments, creating an infrastructure, and allocating these projects to the green belts and black belts. And then, if required, the champions training also. This is one of the European clients where we're conducting a training program. After identification of green belts, the high performers in the organization, these green belts are allocated, given the projects, They come to the session.
Your team name 1, 2, 3. Anti-Muda. And your slogan 1, 2, 3. Green air go. Okay. And your song.
1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go green. Let's go green. Let's go green. We are the champions. We are the team.
Wow.
Yay! Well done.
And your team name 1, 2, 3.
Una squadra.
Your slogan 1, 2, 3.
Together, everyone achieves more.
Together, everyone achieves more. And your song.
Feel it in the air. All this earth has seen. Each of us will share. One dream. We are one team. Una squadra.
Okay, so then they complete the projects.
Well,
Then after that, sometimes the organizations get transformed. Bank Muscat, we did more than 40 projects, more than, we have lost the count, hundreds of projects for Ferrari World, for Warner Brothers, for EDNOC, Aramco, SABIC, multiple organizations. This is about NACL, and just we transformed the organization.
My name is Mohammed Al-Bayati. I'm the CEO of NAPL. Through Anexas, Mr. Amitabh has taught me and more than 1,000 employees of NAPL, Six Sigma and Lean processes. This affected our bottom lines by millions of riyals, and it is having a big impact in changing our company from a local company to a regional or multinational company. Thanks to Anexas and Mr. Amitabh. Thank you very much.
So these are all different techniques. Well, there's some any questions? Yeah, let me ask you if you have any questions. So if you are interested, please join our program. I was talking about Miral, which is some of you might have visited, if you have visited Abu Dhabi, Ferrari World, Yas Water Island, Warner Brothers. There also we have implemented Lean and Six Sigma.
So I reached out to our
right methodology,
operations team.
improve our processes.
So I reached out to our operations team, and we headed straight here to Formula Rossa, one of the signature rides here at Ferrari World at Abu Dhabi, and we decided to work on how we could increase the reliability of the time it takes to update our queue time boards, because as you know, every minute that guest waits in a queue line is super important.
We had the brainstorming session with the team, and we went through a few topics, and then we chose the most appropriate one for the course. The chosen topic was reduce facilities management service request closeout time.
So I was eager to use statistics and data analytics to solve a business challenge. One of the challenges we had is the erosion of the retail per capita spend in Ferrari World Abu Dhabi, and that was my topic.
Well, actually, being an HR professional, recruitment lead time has been always a problem across the board. So taking that subject in specific will help me improve onto the recruitment cycle.
So what we had worked on was redesigning the product launch process, which we've now implemented.
We had a discussion within our team, and the most critical area that we faced was our closing process. So we decided among ourselves that this is the one that we should go for.
Yeah, the course that we did was a week-long online facilitated course. It was fantastic. It showed us the whole methodology behind Lean Six Sigma, and it also provided a various amount of tools that we could be able to use to improve all of the existing processes that we have here in the park.
Well, it was 1 week training. It was very interesting and always energetic in terms of interaction in the class. Every single day has been different, and the knowledge sharing has been remarkable.
This gave us a broader perspective to understand the issues, and it gave us opportunity to do some brainstorming, and we were able to come up with better solutions from a wholesome perspective.
It was a very stimulating experience where we met every day with the colleagues, all very engaged, eager to learn, and keen on and willing to actually pause, step back from their day-to-day work to get some new perspectives. So it was really refreshing.
So I hope you've got some good information about our programs. I'm waiting for you to join. So please join in. I'll leave you with some of the videos on Lean Six Sigma and healthcare, Lean Six Sigma and manufacturing, Lean Six Sigma and construction, Lean Six Sigma and telecom, Lean Six Sigma and banking. So you'll see some of those videos now coming up. But if you have time, please do watch them. Also, you can, if you want to learn more tools and techniques, Anexas Europe, subscribe to the channel. You'll get lots of tools and techniques out there. They're totally free for you. But yeah, full certification course, proper, systematic. I'm inviting you to join. And the certificate is really, really valuable. And if you are training from me, I have got lots of experience in the industry. And if you are appearing for an interview, as for whichever position, but if you say you have done a program, Lean Six Sigma certification conducted by me, it also carries some weightage. I'm just being now less humble here, but that's a fact. So I invite you to attend our training sessions and feel free to join us. The link is given, and please register. And here we go. Some of the first 100